Steve and Terence, welcome to the show.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Chin,
Cheers.
chin.
Good to be
Thanks
here.
for having us.
You're not drinking. What's going on, Terence?
Yeah, just making a sensible life choice for once. First time ever.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole mental health, physical health, all that finally got to me. I was like, well, let's make a change. And yeah.
First time ever. So you've never gone dry before?
I've done a month here and there. Last
Yep.
year, my plan was go a month sober, then a month drinking and whatever else,
Yep.
and then sort of go on like that, month on, month off.
Sweet.
And we kind of started well, and then got to February, and it was a big old party month. Got to March, I was supposed to be sober, and I was like, man, this is sick. Let's carry it on from February.
We'll keep going from there.
Yeah.
We're drinking Coronas. I thought it was topical.
It
We
is.
drink
It is.
these at the
It
moment
is.
because everything's up in the air and going on crazy at
appropriate.
the moment. So you two made it to Argentina. I didn't. Stink. How was Argentina for you, Steve? How did you find it?
Well, I thought it was awesome. First, impressions of it, we set the bar so high. It's coming from that place in Caracas. That mansion was amazing. Had all the boys there. We had so many options in terms of what we could do. And then, we went to Argentina. It was a new country, new venue. It was brand new for a lot of us. But in saying that, it was a big reality check when we did move into that first mansion, staying in that place for a long period of time and not actually going out and spending time with the girls or just getting out there. It drove you nuts. It drove
didn't
you
look like
crazy.
a mansion. It looked like a shitty Airbnb.
Nah, it was sick. Definitely it wasn't a mansion.
No.
But I loved it because it was like a homestay. It was actually this
Right.
real sweet Belgian lady.
Yep.
She was
Yeah.
running the whole thing. She had awesome knowledge of basically a lot of Argentinian history,
she was
a lot
awesome.
of European
Yep.
history. You could
Yeah.
sit down and chat for hours.
That's cool.
She was cooking for us, cleaning up after us.
Yeah, she was
we
like our-
helped out a lot.
Yeah, she was like our Argentinian mother or Belgian mother, and she was really good, and was interested in the show and interested in us, and it made it a lot easier having her there. Just being, in the confines of those walls and not getting out and just staying there for the whole period of time and not going out with either Lucina or Lily, it just drove you a little bit cray.
How long were you there
Cray.
for? How long were you there for all up in that place?
I was there for about 3 weeks, give or
3
take.
weeks?
Yeah, I wasn't in the second mansion for that long. I was one of the first, obviously, because they had the storyline of me leaving. But I wasn't in the whole rural mansion for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The irony
I
was
there.
both you and Liam left pretty much the following couple of days anyway.
Yeah, it was ironic how that occurred, but that's just the way it was. He left on his how he left, the whole story,
Yeah.
and I left the way I left. But in saying that, there was a lot that was left out in the story with the conversation that I had with Lucina on the bench. So it was interesting to see how it all pans out on TV.
That's one of the things that I found the most interesting watching the stuff in Argentina are those, because I can tell that it's edited. I can tell when things are being manipulated and thrown around a little bit. And with Liam, I felt for him, man. It was like the dude was seeing a chick outside of the show. Who wasn't? We're all seeing somebody before we go on the show, right? And he can't say, by the way, I'm going on the Bachelorette, because we're not allowed. So he just made up a little bit of bullshit, and he had himself a bit of an insurance plan for when he got back. Who didn't have that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he just gets had up for it, and I thought it was rough as guts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I felt for him, because he kept, he did it well though. He kept cool, calm, collected on the show and when it was all viewed and everything like that. But I was only eliminated a couple of days prior, and I was waiting for him in the hotel. Where I was staying until I came back to New Zealand, and he was arcing up, man. I was like, no, fuck this. I was like, fuck, no, fuck that guy, Aaron, man, Jesus. And he wasn't happy, but obviously he's cooled down since that happened. It's been a couple of months.
Yeah.
So I thought he was going to rip Aaron's head off when he saw him next, but it is what it is.
That appears a lot of people want to rip Aaron's heads off, man. What's going on?
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you were going to at one stage. You handled it really well.
To be fair, I've been looking back at it and just watching the show, and he did everything he possibly could to win Lucina's heart, and he's still doing it. He's still trying to win Lucina's heart, and he'll do it by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And fair play to the guy. You know, I don't blame him. You know, like it is what it is. And then when it's all said and done and the show's all over, you know, like we'll still be mates. It is what it is. Yeah.
It's been interesting watching him because I thought he was the kind of guy who wasn't there to win the hearts. He was there to win the game. You know, because he's always going on how he's a competitive kind of guy and, you know, alpha male, all that sort of stuff. But now that I've seen him after the fact, and I've heard the stories about him after the fact, and we've had the reunion show, won't give anything away there, but we've had the reunion show and seen the result of that. Yeah. He really did. He was in there, man.
He poured his heart out.
Yeah,
for sure. And full credit to him. And he was one of the guys I went to go see and just make sure he was okay.
Yeah.
You know, just about everything. You know, I just wanted to make sure that we're all good, you know, that there was no hard feelings or anything like that. He was still a good bugger.
Yeah.
You know, I felt it probably from all these small things like the cigarettes, like you know, swooping in on a rose. Like in hindsight, it's fucking bullshit. You know, in real life, you know, it's like, cheer, bro. Yeah, you're getting in there, I'll go over there. Yeah, that's what it is.
Smokes. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I actually sold you out as well, on the same day that Aaron did about the cigarettes.
Yeah.
I'd been on a group date with Lily, and she asked the same question. She said, who smokes? I was like, yeah, I do the social one. Steve does. And
is that right?
I didn't even think about it. I was like, we're not selling anyone out. So when it actually first came out that Lucina questioned you, I was like, oh shit, this is me. I did this.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I don't know about Aaron, whether he did the same as me, just sort of said it without thinking, or whether it was a stitch up. I don't.
Yeah,
I think it was an honest mistake because I did the exact same thing, and then afterwards I thought, damn, like I've kind of stitched him up here.
Yeah, well, the question came up, you know, that's it. So he was going to answer it. He wasn't going to bullshit like Lucina. I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those. Yeah, it's a catch-22. What do you say? So
he's trying to get her attention, so and being the guy that he is, he'll say anything to get attention. And it just came out.
Yeah, for sure.
Steve Smokes. He's a bad boy.
Yeah,
what a badass. It was the same. It was a similar. It's a convenience of edit as well. You know, because a similar sort of thing happened with Glenn when Glenn did the whole, George scenario about him being bisexual, and Glenn going, I knew it. You know, you've got feminine energy or whatever, and they made such a big deal out of it. And then I said the same thing. No one made a big deal out of it. He goes to me, I just came out bisexual. I said, I knew it, and they didn't do anything about it, and it was. Yeah, it was so weird. So they choose their storylines as they go along.
Totally.
Well, look at the same with Richie too. Obviously, Glenn kind of got torn between both Bachelorettes. When Richie came on, he had the exact same position. It wasn't anything you can hold against either guy, because if you are in between each Bachelorette, you do want to spend as much time with both or either to kind of get that feel.
Yeah.
And it was just unlucky that Glenn said some unfortunate things which put him in that bad guy position, whereas Richie was in the same position, but I guess worded himself a little bit better.
Yeah. He worded himself a bit better, and he's pretty. So I think he is pretty. A little bit better.
He is
handsome,
pretty.
yeah.
He's a good-looking boy.
He's a good-looking boy.
Yeah. As is Mike. What's Mike's last name?
Bullet.
Bullet.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Bullet. He's got an accent above the O.
There you go.
That's
Standard
bullshit. That's he's added that in and at that deep hole or whatever it is later on. Terence, in Argentina, I've noticed that your spiteful self isn't what it used to be.
No, it was, as Steve touched on, really, sort of being in that house, as awesome as the little homestay was, it was so small. We had like 3 or 4 levels of stairs to go up, and that's about as far as you could escape from the other boys. So, as
cabin
well.
Fever.
So I've got
a little bit.
Cabin fever.
A little bit.
Massive cabin fever.
Yeah.
And sort of, I had this little routine. When I was up in Cairns diving, I was getting up 5 in the morning. I'd do this cool little thing I heard about called the 5 a.m. Club, where you get up, do 20 minutes of exercise, just sort of light, a little wake up, 20 minutes of self-reflection, like meditating, and then 20 minutes of learning. So I'd be sort of trying to learn Spanish or do like read a book or something like that. And that would kind of by 6 o'clock, I'm like kick-started, ready to go at the day.
There's something about that,
It was awesome. But then, because we got on the show and you're sort of doing rose ceremonies, different activities each day, you kind of like, you'd have a late night, then an early start. And I just found trying to stick to my routine, just wore myself out. So I was kind of I went lazy. I was just going with it. And I didn't even realize it was happening at the time, but I just lost my mind. As soon as I lost my routine, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after that sort of little blow up that I had with Jesse that I was kind of like, shit, I've lost the plot here.
Yeah. Because I found that I was only on for 8 days, right? And I was in Karaka. I didn't have anything very stimulating to do. And I started going like stir crazy myself. Because I've got my routine. I get up in the morning, go to the gym, have a cup of coffee, and then my day's going. And there's about an hour there. They have a routine, no matter what it is. It's something I believe in heavily.
Yeah.
But not being able to do that for even just 8 days, in such an odd scenario, I was starting to go nuts. So you guys must have been like going fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think it's the hardest thing is like you don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of hours. Like they just say, get ready and be prepared to, either go out on a date, like either individually or, in a group date. And yeah, you just don't know. So you can't plan your day because you're pretty much like you do what you're freaking told. That's about it, and it's just the way it is, And when you have the big explosions like what happened to Glenn and, what happened with, the intruders coming in with the, new boys coming in. It was like, whoa, shit, okay, that's a shock to the system, because we're so used to a certain routine that is, given to us, somewhat. And then all of a sudden this happens. And I understand it. It's TV and, it's one of those things that, they want that, organic reaction.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. It plays with your mind a little bit. Yeah, it certainly does.
Give us an organic reaction, but can you just do it again 5 more times?
Yeah.
That'd be good. So you were saying that when you left the show and you had your moment with Lucina.
Yeah.
And some stuff was left out, you reckon? What was left out, Steve?
So yeah, there was it was one of those things, and I've this is the first time in a long time where I've actually had to go and put myself out there and actually ask for a kiss. I usually go in and it's all on.
I've seen it. You're ruthless, bro. You're ruthless. You're like the Cook Island fucking Romeo. Deadly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that occurred, and Lucina said like she was really comfortable, and she felt good about our relationship in terms of what was going on there. But to me, for those 2 weeks prior, I felt like, it wasn't really anything, because I didn't get on an intimate relationship, like a romantic kind of sexual kind of feel for her. So I told her, like, when after that happened, I was like, okay, that was the icing on the cake, really. I just said to her, it's like, look, we've got this connection, but it's not the connection you're looking for. So I think you should let me go home. I don't want you wasting your time on me anymore. You've got all these other guys that are just, willing to give everything, but there's no point really for me to be here anymore. And, she was really happy about that. We hugged it out. Yep. And then, we continued on with the rose ceremony because, when that rose ceremony occurred, I was gone. Like I was late I was out the back. They were like getting interviews and, Osmos and everything like that, and the boys were like thinking, what the fuck?
We all thought something big had gone on. We're like, man, whatever they just said, it's huge. Like, they won't let us talk to Steve. He's been kept away from us. He's obviously,
so
something must be happening.
They knew what was going to happen.
Well, they knew because I already said, take me home. It's time to go home. Yeah. And that was it. So that was just, did what they had to do for television. And I came in the line and, Jesse was standing next to me in the line. He was like, what's going on? I said, everything's good. And he was like, bro, you're tripping me out right now. And, my name wasn't coming in. My name was coming in. And I already know that was the way it was. And I couldn't tell the boys, so it was like it was a quick, not getting the rose and a quick, as it is, a quick goodbye to the boys, and that was it, and I hear, I walk off and I hear, Terence saying, the natural Steve Jordan, and I was like, this guy.
Hype up.
Was it when you left and someone said, oh, fuck it, was it Quinn?
It was Quinny,
That's right.
It was Quinny. Yeah. The fire in his eyes when I saw that on TV too, I was like, Jesus. And I to be fair, I felt for Michael.
In the middle there?
Because it wasn't anything to do with him at all. It had nothing to do with him. He just, it was just like they perceived that was like me and him, and that was the way it was. But it wasn't anything to do with him. It was between me and Lucina. Yeah. But that was just the way it was. So that just happened. And Jesus. Well done. Well done. Yeah. So that just happened. But it is what it is, and we're better people because of it. You know. So
totally.
Yeah.
I was enjoying watching, because recently in the series, Kuma Mike stepped down. And he's an interesting cat, man. I thought he was so hard done by just not getting at least one date.
Yeah.
Getting some sort of decent one-on-one time that actually meant something and having some fun. Because apart from little one, I think he got a couple of little one-on-ones or whatever, but it wasn't like a day away from the mansion. It wasn't a day away to have fun. It was just, he was just cooped up.
Yeah.
And expected to try and do something. I thought that was rough as guts. So I like... Since meeting him, because I never met him on the show, obviously, but since meeting him after the fact, I like him. Good
Oh,
guy.
He's a good
cat,
dude, man.
man.
He's a good dude. He's a real good dude. He's an onto it dude as well. He just doesn't talk as like he doesn't have to say much,
Yeah.
you know. And like he's not
Yeah.
a big mouth, like, but what he does say, what he does talk about, it means something.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
He's one of those guys. Yeah, yeah.
He's the kind of guy that's quiet in the corner and there's something really deep and everyone just stops and goes, yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
That's him.
yeah,
Damn.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
Like a legend.
Yeah.
At what stage of the show when when Lily came on board, did you obviously go, yeah, this one's for me?
Yeah,
You found out how old she was?
I
or-
mean, wow. I was trying to be kind of, I don't know, TV friendly about it. I was scared that I'd get kind of portrayed for switching sides or something like that. I honestly thought when Lily showed up, I was like, okay, this is a stitch up. She's just
Yeah.
here for one night and they're going to see who's going to jump sides.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I'm still Lucina. I knew there was no way it was going to be me and Lucina. She's
Yeah.
a doctor. I've got jobs under my belt, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just traveling around being a bum and I'm loving it.
Well, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the best story, and you're like Mike. You're like Kumra Mike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys are two of the most genuine guys on the show.
So genuine.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
total respect to that. I was like, this is awesome, man, because I could see it, you know. And any bullshit or ears from the other guys was shown even more because you had a guy like yourself or a guy
Yeah.
like Mike, just sort of being you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was fascinating stuff.
And that was a question that did come up. Like Lucina asked me this. This is after everything was all said and done.
Yeah.
The question was like, who's the most genuine in the house? And I straight away it was you, bro. 100%, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
that's the truth.
Absolutely.
That is the absolute truth. So yeah, no, I totally agree on that.
I appreciate it.
It was funny when Lily walked out though, because obviously I've never watched reality TV in my life, and she comes out. I'm like, I have no idea who she was.
Neither.
I was like, who is this? And she goes, Lucina goes, I've got someone here to help me. And she comes out, and I'm like, what? PA? Makeup artist? No idea. I mean, nice skirt. You know, it was so weird. And then it turns out to be a second one. You know, it was
She
funny.
came out firing on that first night too, man.
Yeah.
As soon as she walked out and she
Yeah.
said, I can't remember what she was saying, but she was introducing herself, sort of stumbled on her words and just goes, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, all right. She's
good.
all right.
She's all right. She'll do. Like a legend, though. There was a lot of excitement though when she came out, especially before, because we haven't met the other guys yet, but guys like Jesse instantly, like, there he goes.
Yeah.
Quinn was sort of 50-50 to begin with, and then went in that direction as well. How was the atmosphere amongst the younger guys on that night when Lily walked out? Or just after especially after the cocktail party, because we went straight into one, didn't we? Yeah, so what was the atmosphere like amongst the guys? Reinvigorated?
Probably like that situation when you're like 14 in school and the school bell rings and you kind of like, you can't stand up because you got something in your pants.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, teacher, no, don't make me stand up.
It's so good.
Head to the public toilet, straight off the get go.
Yeah.
Was
The old slap.
Because your first day with her was speedboats? Yeah.
Dude, wild. I lost the plot. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I forgot she was there. I saw the boat. I was like, what's up?
I was amazed by some of the dates that you guys have been on, because you did the jet boat thing. There's been a couple of equine events over in Argentina,
Yeah.
horses and whatnot. I'm
Amazing.
like, what, this is an
Bro, it was
insurance
sweet,
company
man.
nightmare. They must be freaking. Because those boats, especially when you guys did that, I was amazed that you guys were getting the speeds you were doing and allowed to do it.
Yeah.
It was freaky.
Bro, and there was no, like, we had no helmets, nothing like that. I thought, this is sweet. But, man, this is... I wouldn't trust myself in one of these boats. How the camera crew trusts me with it?
Yeah. Trippy, eh?
Yeah, it was good though. It didn't show it on the TV, but I've never done one of these jet boats before.
Yeah.
We're going around the track. We got 3 laps each. And then they gave us another one, and that was where I made the bet with her.
Yeah.
I said if I get under 23, I get a kiss. Anyway, that next lap I got 22.99, and she goes, nah, that rounds up. So I was like, man.
What? Bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I was
Hey.
like, hey, but whatever. So I was like,
Yeah.
22's goal. Came in and they said, actually, we want another shot, so you guys get another 2 laps each. I went around and I
Sick.
clocked in 22.45, I think it was. And I was like, boom. I was like, that round's down. I got my 22. Anyway, I'm stoked about that. We pull in and the guy comes out and goes, oh, mate, you got a record. I was like, what do you mean? I got the 6th fastest of all time on that track, eh?
Maybe you come back.
I couldn't believe it.
I remember you coming into the house and telling us that. It was like, Jesus, hell. That's awesome.
Man, I want to go back and try get that number 1 spot. I'm like, man, if I can do that after sort of 4 or 5 laps, let's see what I can do with 10.
Yeah, because I was amazed how fast you were going. Like, seriously, I was just
Blitzing it.
freaky.
Yeah.
They're sweet boats, and they're so much easier to control when you're just foot flat down. Because, I mean, if you're full planing on that water, it just takes a little turn and you'll just drift around that corner.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going a bit slower, you take your foot off, it actually digs back into the water and you just lose everything.
Yeah.
So
It's shallow, eh? It's like a few inches.
I mean, the water was, I'd say it must have been about a metre or more deep.
Okay.
But those boats, they only need a couple inches at most.
Yeah.
I think the water was just deeper there to catch me for when I flipped it.
Yeah.
Somehow it didn't happen.
What was your most exciting date?
Well, it was probably the
Mud rugby? No.
Liam loved that
still
one.
was that. Yeah.
Oh, so did the hernia on Tavita.
Yeah. So that happened. Yeah. No, it would have been the olive vineyard. That we went to. It was up in Bombay, so we did that right at the start. We're throwing knives. I was freaking useless at that. Absolutely useless. Yeah. Lucina killed me on that, and then we started shooting shotguns, which was cool. Like so, it was clay shooting. So it was pretty amazing. Very romantic. The setting was nice. The food was nice. But in saying that, sometimes I don't know. The setting was amazing. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But I guess like I like a little bit more adrenaline like that. Something like that. If we're jumping out of a plane or doing a bungee or something like that, you kind of lose your shit a little bit, and and sometimes you have to go to someone who's like, for comfort or like because you're scared or something like that. So she could hold her own, obviously with a shotgun and obviously with knives. But it was a tricky one. So and it was really early in the game as well. And the questions came up, like we as she does, like Cena brings up the questions as she does. Like she's good like that.
She's sharp, eh?
She's very sharp. So I think the biggest thing she said to me was that I remind her of her ex-boyfriend.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck, how do you
Instant
get back to
friend
that?
zone.
Yeah, I know. It's like from that, I was like, how do you get back from that?
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
That is really tough. So it was like, all right, I'm going to give this my all to see if I can actually have that opportunity to show I'm someone different. Hopefully, I don't know her ex-boyfriend, but it's tough to come back from that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Sorry, guys. Christian here from the Vision Switcher. The girl on Bachelorette. She's a doctor, right? Yes. Do you think going on the show? Do you think that'll enhance her career or pull it back? You know what I mean? Like if I got cancer in my ass, and she comes along, I'd want the doctor that didn't go on the show.
Bro, me too.
So true.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Hey, does it? You're like, because it comes down to
You want to get a rose though?
No, but
it's
she
like
will.
it's like a judgment or moral. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. I got cancer in my ass. Like, I want the girl that was like the nun. Doctor.
Yeah.
Hey, the one
shit out.
that showed restraint.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Maybe shit else too, because you'd be in the hospital lying there waiting for the doctor to come in. She walks in and was like, "You're on the Bachelorette, eh?" Nah, get another doctor. Get another doctor.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's true.
I just wanted to know
Yeah.
what the benefits were for her, because she's a doctor, right? And she had everything going for her. What else?
Well, she's done a bit of modelling on the background, a few TV ads and that sort of thing.
But even that
Ben,
sort of
sure,
thing
sure,
too,
yeah.
it's like that's one of the questions that thanks GT, thanks for bringing that up. That's one of the questions that I get a lot from people as well. It's like, why do you think she was there? Why would a doctor, a successful, what we would consider to be quite a successful human being, why the Bachelorette? Why would you do that?
I guess it's you take a plunge on something completely different. I kind of get it on a different level. I mean, I quit my job to do this gig on the Bachelorette, and I've never done TV. Like I've done a couple of extras here and there for fun with the boys and with the booze. But
What kind of shows were they?
it was like Shortland Street, 800 Warriors, that kind of stuff. That's about it. Yeah.
Had nothing to do with fake taxi or anything.
Nah, bro. I've done my research. I never saw them
I'm
on
still
that.
going for that though, mate. I'm still going. I'm gunning for that. I'm gunning for that.
Guy, right? He's got a massive fucking thing around.
Oh man, it's like Jesus.
Oh, dude. Hey.
He's got the meanest fucking gig, right?
Yeah. Dude, no word of a lie. I felt like a sick man. I was driving to pick my daughter up earlier on, right? And at the roundabout, I saw a car with a fake taxi sticker.
I've seen that. I've seen those as well. Oh,
So I'm like, because I get excited, because I'm like, fuck, this guy's the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I start taking a photo, and my daughter's like, Dad, what are you doing? Kate? Oh, nothing.
It's a good number plate.
For sure.
But I saw one in Bali too. I was walking down through Kuta with a mate.
Yep.
And we walked past and just see this big white van with full decals up the side, just saying fake taxi.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, got a picture of it. I was like, I'm not letting this opportunity slide.
So not that I've been watching any fake taxi, because I'm a married man. And
It's all the more reason to watch it.
A friend told me.
yeah, but my friend told me that it's got advertising now.
Really?
So the latest fake taxi clips, like on the rear view windows, it's selling advertising.
Wow.
That's how he's the man now.
It's got big.
Yeah.
It's got big. Yeah,
big.
that's definitely worth a watch.
And
Absolutely.
here's something, and I think we're all going to admit to it. There was a little time in my life where I actually thought it was real.
For a split second.
Is that when you opened the
For a
taxi
split
business?
Hey, fuck you, man.
He made a lot of money from that taxi business. Uber killed him, that way. Uber.
Yeah, wait for Uber to bring out their section.
Fake Uber.
Fake Uber.
There you go. Fake Uber, fake Ola. Yeah.
So what would be like? It would be a weird thing though, like if you were in hospital and you know, cancer on your ass, whatever, and Lucina walks in, what would you be like? Oh, hey, how you going? Good to see you again. What's going on? You know, that'd be strange.
I would
Yeah.
probably ask for a new doctor out.
It's a tough one, yeah.
It would be
absolutely.
hard. Kind of be, I don't know, I guess I'd be nice to her up front, and then as
Yeah.
soon as she looked away, I'd be like, save me.
Get me out. I don't
I'm out.
believe in her
I'm
choices.
out.
Her choices.
Great
aren't
to see you, Lucina. Get me the fuck out of here.
What does Lily do? Everyone goes on about what Lucina does, but what does actually Lily do?
No, so what she's planning on doing, she's still in the startup process.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a sick idea. She wants to take out sort of like ladies' travel groups to places that are kind of hard to travel as a solo female.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of a bit of a thing for her to, I guess, get the travel, which is a big passion for her,
Yeah.
but also to promote, what's the word I'm looking for? Not,
Herself.
yeah, well, and that. But no, like, yeah, sort of good cause, taking groups of ladies out to places where they otherwise might struggle to go travelling, sort of.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
mean, not the worst, but
That's
one
really cool.
example could
That's
be
cool.
India. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
certainly it's not a dangerous place to go, but for a good-looking young backpacker, travelling there would be quite intimidating, I imagine.
yeah.
So, yeah, take a good group out, and they can do that whole empowering for
That'd be me.
the feminine.
What do you do in the outside world, Terence? What is your real job?
Bro, tell me. Jeez.
Beneficiary.
Nah, I've done it all, I sort of, when I moved to Auckland at the age of 18, 19,
Yep.
I sort of came into a carpentry apprenticeship. So I smashed that out, got into site management, was kind of doing pretty well out of it. And then, yeah, basically that's where the mental illness kicked in. I was like, fuck this. Sold everything up, left my house, left everything.
Yep.
And since going travelling, I've done quite a range of stuff. Still done a bit of building, so that's quite a bread maker when I want to do it.
Yep.
But probably one of the most fun ones was working in Whistler Mountain or up in Cairns. I was diving on the reef doing an internship to become dive master.
Awesome.
Yep.
So that's what I'm sort of right now. I'll have the next couple of months sort of reset the bank account and energy and do all that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
probably get back to Cairns, finish my internship, get my instructors, and then travel around the world, just taking people diving, make
Sick.
some half decent money, and still get to travel the world. And
Nice.
Bro,
dive
is
some
it
spots, yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Is it true that divers smash heaps of their clients? Is it, or is it
I was about to say the same thing.
A friend could confirm that.
So how do the
it's-
clients compare to what you've just been involved with? Like, you know?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Up in Australia, you get a lot of English and German backpackers.
Yep.
Not enough Swedish, but yeah, the Germans and English make up for it. And
Yeah.
they'll come out diving, and obviously if you're
Yep.
kind of rolling around, sort of good tan,
Yep.
sort of blonde hair waving about, it's yeah.
For sure.
and do
dangerous.
divers, guys who dive, do they actually go diving? Do they dive later? Do you like eating
dive?
vagina?
Oh, mate. Muff diving. Muff diving, yeah. No, I mean, it's good if you can kind of get down there and sort of finish the job then. You know, when you come back up and actually get to the rest of the business, it's like the pressure's gone because you've already finished.
And
Well,
do divers,
finished.
is there like a code between divers? Like, do you guys have some kind of slang around diving and some little inside jokes?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're going to come up and
I
give
don't
it the
know.
bends or...
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've heard any. I've been left out of it. I was obviously gone too deep.
Speaking of attracting pussy, Steve, you
Here we go.
Steve, you used to I don't know if you still do, but I'm assuming you don't because you're an old man. You used to do professional wrestling, am I correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna bring that up. All
No,
right,
I'm
so-
absolutely going to bring that up because you never brought that up on the show. I was your roommate for 8 days and you never brought it up.
No, I didn't.
You told me.
Yeah,
you
so
told me.
it eventually came out. Hence the reason it was the natural Steve Jordan. So I did a bit of that in Wellington. Did some training down in Queenstown and also did a few shows in Auckland. It's becoming a big thing. I still follow it here in the independent circuit here in New Zealand. A couple of the guys from Auckland have gone over and done the big things over in America and become superstars in WWE. So the dream can be done. Yeah. So. Seeing that and it's fun. It's a good thing. It's one of these things that I used to watch as a kid and really got invested in it. You'll probably see me again. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No shit. Well, you should do now. Your popularity is going to go through the roof.
Well, yeah, I just think timing's
Steve,
right.
the Bachelor.
There you go.
I'll be your announcing guy when you come out. No, seriously, though,
takes on Terence, the diver.
He's going for his finisher.
they're going to.
Always gets a job done.
He ain't getting up from there.
He's down, he's out, he's done.
1, 2.
Bro, when was the last time they actually did the wrestling?
So I did a show in Christchurch a couple of years ago for a company called UCW. They put me in, and I was the curtain caller, which means in wrestling terms, it's the first person that comes out. So it was the first match. It was a triple threat. It means like there's 3 guys, which makes it like I've never done a triple threat before. So that was interesting. Didn't know the guys. Usually you wrestle. When you haven't done wrestling for a long period of time, guys that but we called it in the ring and worked out really well. And it was the first time I've been a good guy as well, so that was completely different to me because I'm usually a heel or a bad guy when I wrestle. So it's a lot more fun making people get pissed off at you than making people love you. So that was different. So I was coming out like, hey, how's it going, Steve? And all this instead of like, fuck you. It was like so much easier. But that happened, and then it was only a couple of months later I ruptured my Achilles. So that put me out. So that put me out, and I was going through some personal stuff with my partner at the time. So that kind of just escalated into a little bit of a downward spiral for me for a bit. So back on top now. Like one of the bachelors on the best show on TV.
A moment of pause.
And life is good. Life is really good. I've got a new wahine in my life at the moment. So things
cheers
are cheers, bro. Awesome. And life is pretty good. So
Bottle of water.
The agua.
So she's actually been talking to me about it. It's like, why don't you get back into it? What's the reason for it? You're in top shape. You're 35. And you're looking good and all this. And I was like, babe, just keep it coming,
Just keep saying that. What was that about tip-top shape? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and,
That's awesome. The most humble guy. Yeah, just tip-top shape, babe. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Suck my cock.
I got this shit down.
Because that's what you really want to say, eh?
I don't have to say it, That's the thing.
Speaking of sucking cock, Terence, we need to talk about. We need to talk about the fuck. I forgot about this. Yeah, we're going there. We're going there.
Oh shit! There we go.
What do you call it? Talent. I believe they call it a talent contest. And a few of us got up and did some talent. You did something, but it wasn't shown on TV. Now's your opportunity to tell us all about it. Tell us all about the talent that you have, Terence. What did you do?
Yes, so this is pretty bad. Basically, we got stitched up.
This was gold, mate. This was gold.
Can I even say this? I'm going to be hated along the world.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, God.
No, bro, it's genius.
This is bad.
No, it's
Okay.
not bad at all. It's good.
Okay, no.
brilliant.
Well, yeah, long story short, the bunch of us who got picked for the show were very unprepared, and I can do a lot of things sort of averagely well.
Yeah.
I can do any sport, anything like that. I can do a half decent job at it. But I've not really got a stand-up talent as such. So when they came out with all this, I'm like, damn, what am I going to do? Had no ideas. I was like, well, I mixed cocktails a little bit when I was up in Whistler. I was just, I'll make a stupid cocktail and do that. It's going to be lame, but whatever. That's the only thing that kind of comes to mind. And then Jesse ended up getting asked to do that because that's what he also does.
Yeah.
So I said, nah, bro, you go for it. I mean, I'm shit at cocktails anyway. At least you'll be good at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck these guys. If they're going to throw me up like this, I've got a story that they're going to hate.
That was so unbelievable. Yeah.
Am I actually going to say the story?
Yeah, go on. Otherwise, I'm going to do it.
Okay. Disclaimer, I'm sorry to everyone.
Sorry to everybody involved. You know who you are. Yep.
All right. So this is the story. Oh my God.
This was gold, mate. This was gold.
So the story goes back to my 20th, 21st kind of time.
Yeah.
I've been seeing this girl, absolutely awesome chick, real amazing. Could not speak highly enough of her.
Yeah.
Didn't really do blowjobs, and I never appreciated her for it. I always was quite respectful in that manner. But anyway, it comes to the night of my 21st, and I am fucked. I go to drink a beer, I miss my mouth, just pour it all over myself. Mum goes, right, go to bed, you're cooked. I was like, yeah, sweet, night everyone. Anyway, grab this girl, we go to the room, start getting into it, and it was kind of one of those times where I was like drunk enough that I could keep it up, and kind of, I was going all right, like I was doing quite well, and I basically had this thought come into my head. I'm like, you know what? It's my 21st, I want a blowjob. So I asked her, and she, awesome chick she was like, yeah, sweet. Like, hadn't really done it before, but she was like, let's do it. And I'll tell you what, she was a lot better than what I expected for a girl that hasn't done it.
Yeah.
At least to say, like, Evil Knievel hit the jump a lot sooner than what I expected. I get this thought in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, do I tell her, do I not tell her, do I tell her, do I not? And I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to tell her. So I'm lying back there smiling away, and all of a sudden she comes up and goes, what do I do?
That's all. And that was the talent.
That is gold.
That was the talent
That was gold.
you gave to Lucina. Probably the most conservative. Definitely the most conservative of the two.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that was fucking amazing. And we're sitting there listening to the story, aren't we? We're sitting there listening, and we're like, "Where is he going?" with it? And then you deliver. As soon as you said blowjob, it was like, "Nah, well, I don't know what he's doing. What he's doing."
Yeah.
We've lost it. We're looking at the camera people, and they're like,
The
No
camera
idea.
people had
No?
terror in their eyes. I was looking
I was
at the
like, what the fuck
producer,
is
and
going
she's
on?
like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like,
so good.
this is what you get for calling me up on stage here.
The best part was too, because I watched that episode, and I was like, "Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes," and they never showed it. You didn't.
No.
Not
No,
even in there. They
not
didn't show you
a
at all.
clue.
No.
Not a clue.
I thought they missed an opportunity there.
Well, I
Absolutely.
think, to be fair, I think if it came on, I probably would have gone in a lot of trouble.
What I reckon they should have done, this is what I would have done. I would have had you get up on stage and then just show our reactions, but don't actually have you talking. And then say,
Yeah.
oh, you know, and
It's
then
like
later
bits
on,
and
I can't
pieces of
believe
it.
you're talking.
Yeah. They should have totally done that. And
see-
people would have been intrigued. It's like, what's the story?
So
We
they
can
actually
bring it back
made me,
later. Yeah.
they actually made me do 2 sort of post-show interviews. One of them, I sort of said, oh yeah, I might have got myself in a bit of trouble here, and
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't have told that story, but I'm going to back myself. It was for a laugh. If
Yeah.
she can't handle that, then she can't handle who I am as a person.
Yeah.
So kind of did that, and then
Yeah.
they got me to do a second take. Where
Yeah.
I said, oh no, I was kind of gutted I couldn't be part of the show.
I've got some
go.
skills
So-
I really thought I could have had.
So kind of
Yeah.
what made me realise that they weren't going to show it was when I finished up with it, sat down, Lucina's reaction was obviously Nita and Keita had sort of hyped
Yeah.
her up, and she turned around and said to me, I can't wait to relive the experience. And all of us obviously laughed again.
That's right.
I remember that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they videoed that, obviously, recorded it all, but then they didn't make her do it again. So that's what made me realise. I thought, sweet, they can't actually burn me here.
Yeah.
Because her reaction was really good.
Yeah.
If they try to burn me, it's just not going to make sense for viewers.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm safe.
You're sweet. Yeah.
What about you, Steve? You got some stories?
Stories.
This is one of the big things. One of the amazing things about Steve. I stayed with you for like 8 days in that
did.
room, and you were the most conservative, low-key motherfucker on the show. And I was like, oh, this guy's alright.
I was very vanilla.
He's stoic.
Yeah.
He's like, God, oh, he's one of these like queers that we listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we're sitting in a room, and you're telling me some stories, and I'm like, dude, this is amazing. And then I get out of the show, and it turns out you do wrestling as well.
Yeah. So there was a lot that I didn't really open up about on the show. I guess it was just, do you open up about it? I was always asking that question to myself, like, do you open up about certain things about your personal life and things like that? Wrestling was one of them. Going out and having fun is another. That's another.
Yeah.
I was actually interested to know that Steve's a Cook Islander, so he's got a similar story, but instead of his girlfriend, would have been his cousin. Because there's no Cook Islanders bang their cousins. It's a rite of passage, apparently.
That's a rite of passage.
Yeah,
It's
that's just
certainly a
their
good
thing.
passage.
No,
Yeah.
swear to God.
Yeah.
So how's things with your cousin?
No, we're tight. Well, she was tight anyway.
Triple threat, all holes filled. Oh god. So yes, no, that was one of the. It was so weird. And then after the fact, after the show had finished, we all just start hanging out. We all start going.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
We see how we all are in real life. And there was a period of, I think it was about a month after the show finished, and we all got together and had that first night out. That was a cracking night.
It was a good night.
And like
Yeah.
seeing everybody function and seeing everybody just let their hair down and just relax.
Absolutely.
It was
Absolutely.
so good.
Actually, in saying that,
Ooh.
is I know it's about a month before your birthday, but this is from the night. And there you go.
Bro, stop it. That's me.
There you go.
good.
There you go.
Look at Jono on the old
John
photo
on the
bomb.
back. Yeah. I would have got one with Terence if I knew he was going to be here as well. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's sick. Thanks, man.
Easy, bro. Easy. Easy.
Now I feel like a dick for not bringing something. Cheers, bro.
All right. Bro, you gracious with your presence, man, and that's enough.
Stop it.
That is
That is
There you
so,
go.
that is
There you
so
go.
gay. Gonna change this to Breakback Mountain edition.
Well, I've got stories about that with George. No. I love you, George.
No, really, he loves you. Would you... Okay, out of all this bullshit that's going on with all the show and all that sort of thing, is this something that you would do again? Would you do a reality show again?
I probably would, depending on the circumstances. Like, I've got a girlfriend now, so I wouldn't go on The Bachelor or anything like that. You know, I'm saying that now.
Liam did. Fuck it. I'm kidding.
But if there was like Survivor, Celebrity Treasure Island, or anything like that, if it was a different kind of concept, absolutely. It's like there's more pros than cons. Like the cons were that you're away from your friends, or you quit your job, you make sacrifices. But in hindsight, like the pros are meeting you guys. Meeting Lucina, meeting Lily, having all the experiences. It's like shit. I would never pass it off for anything. You know, it was amazing for me. So I'll definitely do it again. Like people don't know this, but a lot of people don't know this. I'm from Pyro. Like I'm from a small town of 8,000 people. Nothing happens there apart from you get married and you have kids with someone that was in your class of sixth form.
And you fuck your cousin.
Yeah.
Good input.
On the occasion.
just chuck it in.
That's your Thursday night, though. But that's about it. Yeah. So, it was a big thing for me, and I intend on going down to Pyro and Waihi and go and see all my mates down there, and they've been 100% like supportive about it.
Yep.
It's like holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
This shit doesn't happen to.
Small town New Zealand loves this shit.
town
Eh?
is- Yeah,
The
exactly.
fame's weird. Like, how have you guys coped with being recognisable?
Well, that's why I grew a beard. I grew a beard, like cut my weight, like trimmed down. So I don't really like it too much. To be fair, when I'm out with the boys, I just want to be out with the crew and just like getting lit. It's nice, but it's
That's hanging out with the boys, but when he sees the girls, he loves the attention. Oh my god, jeepers! What about you, Terence? I mean, you got a whole bunch of free shit from where'd you go?
Oh, I'll
Bunnings.
tell you, it was
Bunais.
weird, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Did
building
Yeah, this
building.
dude.
What the fuck?
I'm building a toolbox in the back of my truck. So yeah, yesterday I sort of ran down to get all the materials together, and as I get to the checkout, the trade desk, I'm chatting away to this girl, and she's just good conversation, not really saying much. I noticed this other lady behind her kind of keeps looking up from behind the computer. I was kind of like, okay, I think she kind of recognises me, but she's not saying anything. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, another Bunnings girl walks under, and she goes, "Terence, it's Terence from The Bachelorette. The Bachelorette, it's him." I was like, hey, yeah, what's up? Got a photo with her and sort of just chatting away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this other lady who had been behind the computer sort of grabs a photo of me with this other girl. And then she goes, "What size are you?" I was like, "Medium, large, whatever." She comes back and I've got like a shirt, some socks, stubby holder, hat, jacket. Oh man, this is
Full
sick.
merch. Full merch.
Yeah, I'm just going to start
Nice.
doing some rounds around all the shops. I'm hoping I don't have to do any washing now. Just get a new get up every week.
I like how I go
placemakers
to
and cutters.
Bunnings tomorrow and I see Steve and Daryl there. Hey, what do you guys? No, I was just driving past.
Look at me. Look at me. Yeah, no.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I think I am?
The only downside to it though was obviously no snags. And I was chatting to a
Sausages.
Yeah. So I was chatting to a friend about it today, and she said, "Well, it could be because of the corona. Obviously, maybe people think it's inappropriate."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe instead of going back into the trade, I just become the snag man. I just hang out at Bunnings, throwing snags around, couple bucks each.
Score.
I could
There
pull
you
in
go.
some money.
Or you can just keep going to different Bunnings and asking for snags, and they say no coronavirus. Would you like some free clothes? Sweet, bro.
Did you
Done.
guys have
Also
any?
that.
Did you guys have any barbecues on the show?
There was that one, and it wasn't shown. There was a big. When I was there, we had that big table barbecue. Oh, wasn't it? Was it barbecue?
Yeah,
It was
a
that.
barbecue.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
fire pit
You
kind
did
of
it.
thing.
You did it.
No,
Yeah.
and the reason why I asked, do you think George would have eaten the steak or the sausage at the barbecue?
I think he definitely would have taken a bit of both. He would have.
And how long would he have? Because when I get this, I bite it straight away.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that Georgie would kind of? It's just a
Absolutely.
question. Like,
Yeah, no, I know what
do
you're
those
saying.
dudes? Yeah. Do they caress the sausage or?
Yeah. Do they embrace the sausage?
Yeah,
in a way
it's
that.
just a sausage, right?
Yeah.
But those guys, do you reckon they get a bit of a
Yeah.
semi when they eat a sausage?
Well, it's like when I eat an oyster, right? An oyster definitely looks a little bit like the vagine, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. You know what I mean? You look at it for a second, you have a bit of it. It doesn't taste like it though.
Yes,
No,
it does.
Moist.
Moist.
It's moist.
It definitely
It
looks
says
like
moist. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the plumpy ones, they're great.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
you, Steve, is it cousin vagina different to other vagina?
It is. It's just. I don't know. It's better. Because it's naughty. It's but
Yeah.
I'm here now.
There he is. Here's the real Steve. This is the Steve we're waiting for. Right. So, Terence, currently on the show, what is the next step for you now that the show's finished and all that sort of stuff? What are you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, it's sort of. I'm
You
at
gonna
this
settle
weird.
down? You gonna get a house or something?
Definitely not. I'm at this. I'm at this weird crossroad in my life where my dream is. I've got these massive out there ones, but my most realistic one is to open up a backpacker hostel and turn it into kind of a chain of hostels throughout New Zealand, and then potentially go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Potentially
Yeah.
go international as well.
Yeah.
So I've been for the last few years traveling around all these hostels I see that I like or things that don't work. I write it down. I take pictures.
Yep.
I've got this big folder on my computer. I've got notes everywhere.
Yep.
And it's a passion that just kind of takes me over every time I go to a new hostel. I'm like, man, I could do this. I could do that.
Yep.
And for that reason, I really want to get back here and make some money. Sort of build up a bit of credit with the banks and everything, and sort of
Yep.
take that risk out to make it happen. But at the same time, I'm far from done with traveling.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of stuck between, do I try and make it happen and end? I don't know. I think within 5 years, I could be maybe at the point where I've got this good hostel up and running,
Yep.
and have the freedom from there to go and travel and just leave someone to manage it for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely
But
the world's guest kind
same-
of guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, I'm like, shit, that puts me at 31 to go out traveling. Whereas that's kind of
Oh,
a nice.
shit.
I mean, it's young.
That's terrible.
It's young.
31. How fucking bad
No,
is
no.
that? Yeah.
31's very young, but see, right now I'm kind of at the age where I can go out and do just about anything. Like around Asia, I was twisted. I'd get naked in a bar, no one would look twice.
Yeah.
I'm like, at 31, I'm like, I mean, I could definitely still go out there and get naked, but I might kind of have a girl with me at that point that's going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So at this stage, I can I've got no one to tell me yes or no. I've got
Do what you wanna
none of
do.
that. Whereas, at 31, I definitely want to still be traveling and doing all that, but I want to sort of be a little bit wiser, somewhat.
So you want to
know?
be set in terms of like having a partner at that time?
Potentially, not necessarily the one, but definitely, I've always been
Someone.
single aside
Yeah.
from just a couple of sort of shortish relationships.
Yeah.
So I'll hit the stage now where all the traveling I do, all the epic places I go, I'm
Yeah.
like, I wish I had someone to share this with.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's-
Steve's in a similar situation, actually. How many swingers clubs do you want to start? I mean, fair play. I mean, how many?
Well, when are you going to invite me, mate?
Bro, soon.
I actually have a lot of respect for Steve because he could have. He's a good-looking man, and he could easily have, after you left the show, you could have just gone and just smashed chicks, right? But you decided to go and get a missus, right?
Yeah.
You just said, look, I don't want to do the smashing.
Yeah.
I want a missus. What got you to that point? Because I think the reason why a lot of guys go on these shows is to build some brand equity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you build your brand equity, and then either you get on a show or get on radio or whatever. But you always, as a result, what you definitely do have is girl equity, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But you just, instead of cashing that all in, right? you
Yeah.
go, oh man, fuck, I'll go hard out for 6 months. I really want to know what made you get a missus.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, because that sounds like a great idea, getting a missus.
you know.
I'll just stay single over here. I choose that one.
So yeah, it was when you know, like you're gonna like I haven't been in a relationship for over 2 years now, and I've been in a couple of long relationships, long in terms of like 9 years and 7, and I don't take it for granted. And if it's someone that I'm gonna see myself invested in for a long period of time, if not the one, what's the point? What's the absolute point? So like, I've had some fun for these past couple of years. I've done some shit, but when it comes down to it, it's like, when a person reaches out and you've seen someone and you know them, which we did know each other like beforehand. You just know. You don't have to say anything. You just feel it.
So it's the same as like walking onto the Bachelorette and you saw George, but you don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Well, we've had some good times too. I had to get that out of my system. He was.
But look,
he looked after me.
Yeah. And I was writing down some questions earlier on, and I thought, look, I've got a son, right? And he's 6 years old. And I thought, look, I love the fact that you guys went onto the show because what people don't know, it takes a lot of courage. A brave person puts his hand out and go, you know what, I'm going to fill out this form. Because it starts off at a joke, but then it comes to a point where you actually go, I'm sitting in front of the computer and I'm going to these auditions, right?
Yeah.
And to put yourself out there, I think that's kind of the stuff I want to teach my son is like, give it a go.
Yeah.
Or you'll just always die wondering. And I think as a result of this, it'll only make you guys stronger people, 10, 20 years from now. At least you could say, fuck, I gave it a go,
Done it.
right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. It was like, I think, Terence would say, a lot of us other guys would say, we just gave it a go, and it's bloody scary to go out into the unknown. The biggest, thing for me was, going out there and meeting all these guys because, like Daryl, you said it, man. It's like I thought there was going to be all these show ponies. I thought it was going to be all these Instagram followers and all these people that were just going to think that they're hot shit. But I was very fortunate and just meeting all these people that I consider a lot of them, if not all of them, mates. It's crazy. I'm still in touch with every single person on the show, including the Bachelorettes, and that's the biggest thing for me. And it's made me a stronger person and a better person for it, because we're all completely freaking different.
Yeah.
But we have this connection because of the show.
And it's a bizarre show. It's a strange situation. As JT says, it's like one of those things that it takes courage to do it. Not a lot of people are going to do it.
Yeah.
And we did it, and we've got this bizarre connection.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
Totally. Yeah. And it's like we actually give a shit. We have these groups on Messenger and Instagram or whatever it is, and if anyone's up to something, we all reply, and if we can make it or not, it's weird.
And
we've come from different ventures in life, and it's brought us together. It's so weird, but we we actually give a shit about each other, which I really appreciate.
And one of the cool things as well is the support network that's been going on as well. You know what I mean? Like on those Facebook things and the WhatsApp groups, it's just been, if anyone's got an issue, say Glenn's popped up a few times, Liam's reached out to me, we're all there for one another, even though technically we were competing against each other, but it's such a strange situation. It's like, we can share that knowledge and share the experience with one another of failure or success or whatever. And
Yeah, I've felt nothing but love. That's the best thing about it, man. Like, it's been amazing. Just feeling that, and I've got brothers and sisters out of it, so it's pretty damn cool.
What do you reckon, T?
That was something that was super cool as well that I didn't expect, was the support inside the house, even during the show. Like you mentioned, afterwards now, epic. But during the show too, it would be, say one of the guys would get a date, and instead of everyone being like, oh, fuck that guy, everyone would just be hyping him up. They'd be like, yes, bro, go out there, give her the best day. When he gets back, we'd all be proper listening, like how to go. We'd all be so excited. And there was no bitching. There was no fuck you for taking my girl out. None of that. It was
apart from Aaron, it was very genuine.
But even Aaron, though, I'll give him credit. It was sort of what Steve said earlier. He was kind of ruthless throughout the show, but it was all very honest. He said since the start, he said up front, I'm going to do what it takes to get this girl, and he did that. And he wasn't dishonest in any ways. I don't think. Like, he'd chat a bit of shit. He'd do a few things that would get him in trouble, but he was very honest. He was very committed, and I respect highly that he put his sort of reputation on the line, because
totally have to vouch for that as well. He exactly. He put his reputation on the line, and he has the strongest feelings for Lucina, hands down. The strongest feelings for Lucina out of all of us.
So you guys wanting to do what Mark's achieving and becoming an influencer on Instagram? Are you guys wanting to achieve that sort of thing? Is that
you mean a stalker? So obviously when you go on a show like this, you get a lot of sort of younger females especially following and messaging and that sort of thing. Like, they definitely want to sort of message and get in on the action, the gossip, whatever's going on. But every female follower that I pick up, followed by Magic Mark Johnson.
Yes,
100%.
All of them,
absolutely.
all of them.
Yeah.
And get this, so I've got this mate over in Toronto who I knew from Sydney a few years back, and she liked one of my photos. You know how on Instagram it doesn't show up anything about her, it'll just say liked by these people. So he's actually clicked on her profile and gone and followed her.
Really?
Yes, there's no other way that she's popped up on his feed, nothing like that. He's gone out there out of his way to go and follow this girl. I was like, wow, that's kind of desperate.
I just can't believe how many filters he puts on his photographs when he puts them up. You know what I mean? I was like,
be yourself, bro. Like,
be you.
Yeah.
It's like he's been reading Tavita's handbook. I don't know. Just as many filters as possible. It's true. You look him up on the gram. It's like, dude, what are you doing? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Tavita's
he definitely. Nothing against Mark. He's a good dude, but he definitely wanted the fame.
He's a good dude that's been led, and he wanted the fame, and he's in that situation, and now he doesn't quite know what to do with it. And he's doing some unusual choices.
Great guy.
Love the guy.
Good man.
Love the guy. How's Tavita doing with his hernia and stuff? That's patched up?
Yeah, supposedly he had a operation this year. Got it all cleaned up. So he's back on form. Still training, still doing his thing. I wish I got a bit more of a conversation with him, like on Tuesday. When we all got together. Unfortunately, it was just so much going on, I mean, at the after party, there was a few people that were missing.
I noticed that.
It was pretty sad that a couple of guys that were missing was Mark and Tavita. It was the time to be with the boys and just kick back and see what's been going on. It's been a while, and it's the first time we got everyone together. It was freaking important, to be fair. Really important. So I can't. I don't know.
Who was missing? Brendan was it?
Elliot.
Oh, and Elliot.
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 What a guy! I love that dude.
That dude, fuck, he turned up absolutely steamed. He was so hammered.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then, but Brendan couldn't get back because of his flights in Corona and all that sort of thing. That is a damn shame. But Elliot, I never really got to know much of Elliot because he was on the show for 5 minutes when I was there, and he didn't end up on the other show at all. So
No.
yeah,
He's an awesome dude. He was honestly probably one of the guys that I'd probably love to hang out with.
I've got a lot of love
after the
for
show.
Elliot. He's great.
Yeah,
He's so funny and ridiculous out there, but he's
Yep.
actually the sweetest soul. He just doesn't want anyone to know it. He'll just
He's-
act like an idiot
Yeah.
to try and cover it up.
Like, if he's your
so
mate,
thoughtful.
he's your mate. That's the thing about it. When I left, this is one thing that I did notice is like when I left, and you know, I was kind of stuck in the mansion. Kind of, you know, they kind of drift you away from everyone, and
yeah.
you pack your bags, and you know it's time to go. He snuck in because he was always good at sneaking around and getting stuff for us and whatever.
Yeah.
He snuck in, opened the door, and he threw a pack of Marlboro Reds like in the air, and it just landed right in my hand. You
Yeah.
know, and he just looked at me and was like, you know, cheer, bro.
Yeah,
And that was it. You know, that's the kind of guy that Elliot is, you know. And he was like, because I was hanging for a dart after that, you know. I was like, shit, I'm going to, like, biggest thing, like, it was sad to see the girls go, but the biggest thing for me, like, the first time, pretty much the only time I kind of broke down was, like, when I was missing the boys. That was it, you know, because you have this connection with all the lads, you know, and it's like, it feels like you're never going to see them again because you're in this bubble. You're in this certain like situation, and you just don't know because, you know, if everything is going to pan out and people are going to make the effort. But that's the biggest thing for me. It was like that people did, you know, and we all came together. It's pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. I smoked half that pack of darts, you know, when I was back at the hotel. It was great.
What was the saddest part for you, Terence? Like at the end of your situation, end of the whole experience, what was sad for you? What got the emotions flowing?
Probably saying goodbye to the free holiday.
Was it your first time in Argentina?
Yeah, it was. First time in South America. And I actually asked the producer, I said, look, could I sign a sort of release form, a disclaimer, so that if I don't make it out of if I don't make it to the final, can I stay in Argentina and actually just go from here? I was like, you guys don't have to pay for a flight home. I promise to keep the secrets to everything. I'll keep myself out of trouble. Yeah. Can I stay here? I'll sign whatever I have to sign. I'll sign my life away. Just let me stay.
Yeah.
And they're like, get on the plane.
Oh, really?
They know I'm a liability, eh?
Yeah.
Bro, that was such a low rent fucking move, eh?
Bad.
But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
one thing that was hilarious, though, was when we were leaving, we got told. So we got taken out to a lunch, sort of all together on the last day, right before going to the airport. And the producer said to us, like, look, 'cause you guys have been good. You get 2 beers each with lunch. Just do it, respect it. We're like, yeah, cheers, man, thanks.
Oh.
Every time the waiter's going past, they were like, una más. Nice. We got maybe like 6 or 7 beers in us all, and we're still, to be fair, we're being quiet, we're respectful, doing that. But we get on the bus, and the guys go, nah, because you did that, you're not having anything at the airport. They're like, you're not going to the bar. If we see you in the bar or drinking at the airport, there's going to be serious repercussions. You'll be done. So anyway, Aaron and I are like, well, try to stop us. We get to the airport, walk past the bar. Sure enough, they're standing there making sure none of us go in. So we tried to go through duty free. Can't remember why. Some reason or another it didn't work. So we just took a couple loops back and forwards. The girls giving out free shots. We're like, okay, they've kind of recognised us now. We can't get away with this.
Yeah.
And get this, we walked past a chocolate shop, this real cute little chocolate shop. Notice down in the bottom corner, I've got a little beer fridge. Like, well, this will do. We sit down in the chocolate shop. We buy like a little block of chocolate in front of us, and then we sit there with our beers sort of hidden. And Aaron and I must punch like, I don't know how many beers, man. Good few. And anyway, our chaperone walks in and she sees us with these last 2. And she was like, what the hell? I gave you one job, you're not to drink, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, no, don't worry. Like, we're sorry that we went against you, but it was 1 or 2 beers. We're just being, just unwinding, just having a bit of boys chat, unwinding, look, we're not causing any trouble. And she was like, whatever, just chuck them in the bin, let's go. Like the idiot I am, I grab these beers, go to put them in the bin. I'm like, man, this is weird, Aaron. I haven't seen anyone else drinking, but this bin's full. And anyway, Candy, the poor chaperone for us, she just lost it. I broke her, eh? She just lost the plot. She's screaming at us. We're supposed to be laying low, and she's like, you fucking idiots, get the fuck on the plane. Like this.
Wow. She's really
Anyway, I sort of realised I'd fucked up. To be honest, I don't remember sitting down on the plane. I don't remember buckling up. But I remember waking up in midair thinking like, man, this ain't good. Went and hugged the toilet for about an hour, which is not good on a plane.
Shit.
Not fun.
Not good.
Fucking hell. Yeah, Candace is ruthless. She's not going to take
Oh,
any shit.
she was the best. She was the perfect person for that job to control us. She was a cool auntie
She
that kind of
switches off,
kept us in line.
It's just like
She does.
complete work mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in work mode. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know those shows like The Bachelorette? Do they make sure the crew aren't, let's say, female crew aren't better looking than the talent?
They didn't do a very good job.
No, they didn't do it.
No, there was a few cuties.
Not bad. Good
Yeah,
size.
because it takes your eyes off the prize, right? Because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, fuck the day. I want to smash Mumsy over there or whatever.
Well,
you know what I mean?
that's what I was
Was there
expecting.
any of that happening?
I thought there was just going to be a bunch of sort of overweight middle-aged men on the cameras, and we got there and
Yeah.
Yeah.
whoa, what?
No,
Wait,
what's going
what
on?
Bachelorette? What are we here for?
Yeah. The confusion. Okay, let's wrap it up there. Steve, Terence, thank you very much for coming in and exposing all. JT on behind the desk, thank you very much for making it R-rated. And cool, sweet.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks,
no
man.
problem. Always fun. And yeah, we'll see you next time and see you in the shops.
Absolutely.
Easy. Done.
Let's
Thanks for
get
having
it.
us.
See you
Easy.
guys I'll see you guys at Bunnings tomorrow.
Yeah, bro, the snacks are on, eh?
And
Bro, I'll be there.
Daryl, I'll see you at Swings Club, eh?
Cheers.
Okay.